All right, what do we got today?
We're going to talk a little bit about why clinics that add peptides grow faster.
Well, Paul, do you want to start this one off? I'll let you go first if you'd like.
That one, I mean, that question's right up my alley for sure.
I know. That's why I'm going to let you have the first one.
As far as why do clinics, how do they grow faster with peptides?
Yes. And
well, number one, it's because it's going to impact the bottom line of their profitability first and foremost. The reason why they grow so quickly is because they work. The peptides work, and it keeps their clientele coming back to them. And they know that they're actually helping their clients out, because when you give someone a peptide, whatever peptide it is, anything from BPC-157, TB-500, I mean, we could go down the list of GHRPs also, but you know they're actually going to do good for that person. And it's going to do something that is going to keep them coming back to you. So yeah, they're going to grow the quickest, because also the hottest ticket item is the GLP-1s, which is really making them lose weight and come back for more.
Closest thing to magic I've ever seen in a product. And
Well
I think obviously working is the big thing. No one wants to take their car to a mechanic and get it back broken, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go get something, you go in there for an injury, an ailment, or you just want to feel better, whatever, and you want it to work. You want it to work fast. I think the other big thing why they're so successful now is, in reality, they're able to actually create a much more cash affluent basis for their business, because most doctors work off of come in, we collect your $25 copay, then we fight with insurance for 6 months to get the rest of our money, and then when they write you a script for some crappy drug that later on in life is going to give you cancer,
right?
They don't get anything from that. So you go to now a more naturalist type of looking at helping people. And on top of that, it's affordable and it's a cash pay, and you can actually make the money on the spot, and you're not chasing any of your money down or losing your money, because then they come back. And I've seen this with a lot of doctors. My actual doctor just shut down, my practitioner. So he is done because he's done chasing the money. Like all these cases came and he was trying to get his money for, and they said, yeah, that didn't qualify. So now he's turning into a concierge doctor.
You can't blame them, because you know what? Some of the most successful guys that I've seen now in this industry are honestly, they're the surgeons that go, hey, you know what? I also just opened up a med spa. Well, why are they opening up a med spa? Well, because at the end of the day, they know that they can give these natural amino acids that we're already producing within our cells, dump it back into you as these tiny little signaling molecules, and then just watch it work for that person. And because it's a cash pay model, just as you said, man, 100%. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Do you guys think moving forward, like clinics that aren't introducing peptides you're going to see that more often?
Clinics that aren't introducing peptides, they're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
They already are.
Yeah.
So I've been in this sport, I call it a sport at this time, for 11 years. And for a good solid 7 of those, everybody thought I was crazy. And I know that I've said this on multiple podcasts, that in the beginning, it wasn't a business. It was more of a passion project or a hobby or whatever you want to do. I was just totally into peptides 11 years ago because they helped me. But what I saw over the years was the first 7 years, no one even wanted to touch anything except for a few experimental people. And most people were in like bodybuilding or in desperate need. They're like, screw, I'll do anything. Right. You see like people that have cancer.
Yeah.
Desperate. Right. And then 4 years ago, when people started to come on, because GLP started getting out there, Ozempic was working.
Right.
And some doctors knew that was a peptide. So I'd have these conversations. But even then, doctors would say, you're a fucking criminal, snake oil, never going to work, you're crazy, I'm calling my lawyer on you, whatever.
Yeah.
But I always was nice. And I said, hey, you're going to see this pop up more and more and more.
Yep.
And just remember who talked to you about it first. And I'm always going to be here. And I'm telling you, 6 months, a year later, I'd say, and you can ask Drew, who was there since the beginning, I'd say about 50% of those people eventually called us back.
100%.
Now, we didn't always do business with them, because now at that point, some of them were like, I'm worth more than I am, kind of thing. Sure. Like, I'm this doctor, and you should give it to me for free, because I'm going to help you build this thing. And it's like, of course, I can't do that, right? I'm a dude that started a company, self-finance. I have no backing. Like, this is me.
For sure.
I can't just give you my product, but we still got the phone calls back. And of those 50% that called back, we probably flipped 75 to 80% of them.
Well, that just tells you.
I just flipped. We got them to buy.
You're on the right track with everything that you're doing as far as that goes, man. And it's amazing. And I actually wanted to ask you a quick question as far as, and I'll give you some background on myself. I've actually never discussed what got me into peptides and how I started.
You've never discussed once.
No, I've actually never said that, because you just said that and you go, hey man, 11 years ago, And I'm like, oh man, I've actually never.
Paul's 174, believe it or not. So,
yeah, it's the peptides. It's the peptides, 100%. You know what, man? It was back in my competing days. So now we're going back 10 years. Yeah, back to like, oof,
when he was 9.
Yeah, thank you. God bless. But yeah, like 2016, 2015 was the first time I tried. You know what peptides I tried? It was AOD and FTTP.
They had AOD back then. I thought it was all frag.
They had AOD 9604, and then
Jesus.
and that no AOD came later. That was 2017, 2018.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
now we're playing. Yeah, because I remember when AOD came around.
FTTP was
the new version of frag.
Yes.
So people were like, I want frag. I'm like AOD, and they're like, what's AOD? I'm like, it's modified frag.
Yeah, dude. I was doing it for competitions for that last 3 weeks before I was stepping on stage. That was when I was using the AOD and 9604, the AOD 9604 and FTTP. But what I wanted to add, so that's how I got really introduced into it. And then I was helping other guys that were competing, right? And I was like, hey man, try this FTTP. Hey, jump on AOD. And then they were just like, dude, what was that? I love this stuff. It's amazing. But I want to ask, what got you into peptides way back when?
I tore my bicep off the bone.
How'd you do that?
Throwing a piece of luggage in the back of a truck.
I love this story.
And by the way, this is the first time Uber.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever mentioned this.
Okay.
This is the first time I'd ever been picked up in an Uber in a truck. I was like, what the hell?
A pickup truck?
Like a pickup truck. I'm like, that's weird. Getting picked up in Uber in a truck. I didn't even think that was a thing. It was always like a Prius back then. So I got my bag and I'm in Phoenix and I'm going to throw this thing in, but it's, I don't know, a good 1.5 feet taller than the back of a Prius. I went to go throw it. And when I turned my wrist over, pop, the left just went right off.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. So and I've told that story to a million times, but yeah, that's when it started. And they wanted to do surgery. And I tried peptides and physical therapy. And 6 weeks later, the damn thing grew back on. They said it was impossible for that to happen. So when someone tells me something is impossible and it did happen, I go down the rabbit hole of, whoa, this could be something big. And like I said, for 7 years, it was nothing but just me geeking out on it and making them for myself and hopefully selling a few, but most likely losing money.
How'd you get educated on them?
Luckily, I have a really close friend, Dave, that is a fucking genius in this. And he's been the guy in this human growth hormone field for over 30 years.
Right.
And he was the guy that knew about him and got introduced me. And then he and I would just, what's new on the market, what's coming. He was always in, because, we were working with cancer research facility and he was building these. So like, okay, hey, there's this new product, AOD 9604. How do we make it? We try making it. Trust me, there's a lot of them that did not work very well.
Right.
I mean, we still have the struggles with making things today.
Sure.
Gelling issues or whatever, when you first start making some of these, because you got to get pH right, what solvents, whatever you're using, to rehydrate sometimes or actually build them. It's like if you go to the best chef in the world and you say, write down how you make this dish.
Right.
And it looks complete. And then you go try and cook it and you're like, I cannot get this to taste. Even if that's a 10, I'm at a 5 best.
Sure.
Like, you have all the instructions. He told you exactly how to do it. You sear it for 3 minutes and you add this much salt and you add this, but you're like, it does not taste the same. That's the same thing with chemistry a little bit. And it's also this whole scaling thing. You're like, okay, by the laws of the universe, if 5 times 5 equals 25, and you said double that, and you said, okay, 10 times 10, well, that's more than, that's 100.
Right.
But it's like, which way do you double it? I think you still run into those processes. So we've over scaling, when we were making 100 bottles at a time, I remember we started making 1,000 bottles at a time. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. We went through all the challenges of scaling from 100 to 1,000 batch. It did not work out identically like it should.
Sure.
And then we went to 10,000, completely different. Like, we have batches that we can't figure out how to get them. It's not like we can't figure out, but we can't get them to be consistent, like where we can nail things. Like, okay, we used to make in 1,000 and we're trying to get a 10. We're stuck at like 4,500 to still nail. Now, we're hitting all the purity and all that stuff, but like the milligrams, if something's supposed to be 10, we always kept between 10 and 10.5.
Sure.
Like, as soon as we go to like try to get to 10, it's like 12 and a half. And we're like, that's weird. And then you're like, okay, well, we'll just take it down a little bit. And then it goes to 9. You're like, what the? Yeah. It's just weird. It's the things as you scale larger, and now we have 30,000 bottle lyos on the way. So we went from I mean, really went from 100 to 500s to thousands to 2800s to 8000s to 12,000s. Now we're going to 30,000s. I can't wait to see what happens then. And when you mess those up,
Is it just like trial and error, trying to figure out how to increase it?
you hope that the chemistries and the chemists are really good, because you don't start even in the 30,000 bottle vial. You don't just throw 30,000 bottles in it, because you got to see. But you might do 5,000, 10,000, 15, like kind of like keep going up and see if there's any differentiation. So it takes you a little while to get through that process. A couple weeks usually, because you'll keep making things to make sure it's scaling right. But yeah, for some reason, it's not as easy. It's just double a recipe.
Starts to change up a little bit on you.
It just doesn't. It doesn't work that way. But like I said, if you say five times five, double it, and you go 10, 10, right? Nope, it grew by 4. Like, it's just something works weird like that when you're doing it. I don't know why, but you always figure it out.
The way that you're scaling and going from like 100 to 10,000 to this, that's just a testament to how powerful peptides actually are. And the demand that's out there for it that we're seeing like across the country, across the world. People everywhere are talking about it now.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think patients are demanding
peptides? The number one reason why I always give is I go, because they freaking work.
Yeah,
they
really do.
Work. They work. They're
not all work, but they work way better than you taking any vitamin. Not any, but like you sit there and you just plow down vitamins and you're like, okay, I hope this is working. And then when you really break down on a cellular level, whether or not that is getting into your cells, is it methylated? It doesn't even matter. Is it getting in there and doing what it's supposed to do?
Or is the gut just destroying
Or is the gut, well, no, like even beyond that, it's in your blood. You go get a blood test. You're like, great, I have ample vitamin D. But if you actually do an actual real genetic test to see if your body's absorbing that, you may still have the D deficiency. Which is what I'm learning, because now I'm working with Age Code. I invested with them, and we're going to mix how we can get peptides to help make you live longer, so to speak. But I found out I don't absorb 30 or 40 different, minerals, vitamins, all these different things, or I have all these deficiencies. And I'm sitting there going, I inject all my Bs, right? I have we make in our pharmacies, we make injectable B vitamins. We do methylmalm and B12 and B complex and D and all these things, right? I was injecting that, and no matter what, it's still not showing absorption. So on the actual cellular level, I'm still not getting the absorption rate that I should. And you'll never know that, right? From you could take it and you think everything's working, or hoping, or I don't know if it's either, but hopefully it's working. You take a peptide. I had a person call me that, like a doctor that's well known. And he's like, yeah, I was in Europe. I threw on my back and I just happened to have BPC with me that you made. And 2 days later, you guys were in the car.
Yeah.
It's like 2 days later, I was special. It was a fucking miracle.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I thought I was going to be out the rest of the trip. I mean, they work crazy. Like GLP, you inject it and you are not eating tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Dude.
NAD. I passed out on the couch before the gym this morning. I did my NAD shot. I'm like, I'm going now. I went straight to the couch and I'm like laying there with the dog. And he comes in like, oh, you beat me downstairs. I'm like,
it couldn't move. Yeah. It was too funny.
And then you're firing.
No, dude, I love that story actually about that doctor that we just heard in the car while we were all together. Because look, the last two kind of, I would say, drastic people that I've helped out. They were both, one was in his 70s, one was in his mid 50s. So the one in his mid 50s, you know what it was? He's going into liver failure. And I'm like, your ALT and AST, which are the values that we look at for your liver. I go, you're at what? And he goes, yeah, I'm at 220 and 192. And those are things that should be in the 40s or less.
Usually at 40, 50.
Yeah. And I was
in the 60s.
I was like, whoa, man.
And usually one's for medication, one's for the rest.
Yes.
ALT is for medications.
Don't quote me on that, but that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
If you for instance, if you take a lot of ibuprofen.
Yes.
Or, let's say you actually have a legitimate injury where you're stuck taking some kind of hydrocodone type product.
It's going to make that value go up.
Yeah, it's one of them goes down. So okay, that one's from the drugs you're taking.
I think it is ALT off the top of my head. I'll have to fact check ourselves.
But I'm not AST. Helping people lower it is kind of still in one process. We can help lower both.
Do you know what happened was I actually got him on So they'll cut this part out, but can I say Retatrutide or what should I not say?
You can say whatever you want. It
I was-
doesn't even
I
matter.
can
You're
say
allowed to say
GLP.
this stuff on.
I just didn't want them to like cut our stuff like or whatever, but I'll
This
just
is the thing. We're just
Yeah.
talking about experiences.
Okay,
You're not
okay.
giving patients.
because I was like, if we're gonna post this somewhere, then they're like, Paul said Retatrutide, he messed it up.
You can.
So I'll say a
Retatrutide.
GLP.
You can
So
say-
that
What is that?
so GLP.
No.
Oh,
Ret-
Retatrutide.
Yes.
it's
so-
fine. You can talk about it.
I can talk about it. Okay, I was like, I felt like I was gonna get my
You're
hand
welcome,
slapped by
Eli
YouTube
Lilly.
or somebody. I was like,
Yeah.
they'll cut this out, so whatever. But so with him, with having his liver enzyme so high, I put him on Retatrutide. So Retatrutide, it's a glucagon-like peptide 1 agonist, and essentially what it's doing is it's hitting 3 receptors, while the other 2, which we all know is tirzepatide, semaglutide. The tirzepatide's hitting 2 receptors, semaglutide's hitting 1 receptor. With Retatrutide, the reason why I like it so much, and I talk about it like all the time, we always talk about it, is because it's muscle sparing. So you're not going to get that nasty, like, skinny fat
okay.
look. And then it's also actually speeding up your metabolism because it's hitting the rest of those glucagon receptors, which is really cool. I put this gentleman on it, and he's actually here in Orange County, put him on it for 3 weeks. Brother, his AST and ALT went down to 60 and 52 in 3 weeks.
Oh no, the liver is so regenerative. It's
It was
a blessing.
amazing.
But yeah, I mean I've said this before. It's in the peptide world. I think it's probably the most impactful and best put together peptide I've ever seen.
You think even over BPC?
Yes. Well, BPC is just one. The fact
Sure.
that we were able, I say we, but the community,
Yep.
people that have put that together,
Mhm.
and the result that it gives. We took something that was revolutionary,
Yeah.
GLP-1, semaglutide, Ozempic for the drug manufacturing guys, and it worked. People were losing weight. It helped with type 2 diabetes.
It's a life-saving med.
Literally life-saving, and
Yeah.
it's natural.
Yep.
It's in your body. And we took that and made it better. And then we like, okay, but it's really hard on the stomach. People were throwing up and people were super sensitive. It was so strong. And then we grafted GIP on, and then it was better.
That
and-
became tirzepatide.
tirzepatide. And then all of a sudden it's like, let's make it better. It's like, how much better can you go from here? I just don't even know. Cause I'm like, you don't want to lose any more weight.
Right.
You don't need to lose 200 pounds in a year. It's not good for you. Like at some point you go, this is just the right balance of everything to keep muscle tissue on, repair your inside organs that are having trouble, alleviate the stress, help your insulin sensitivity while losing weight, not getting tired, having good brain function. Like, it's like, okay, good. Like it's pretty much like, okay, I would just like, okay, stop there and
Right.
move on. I mean, there's a million others. I mean, even we as a company, we are looking at patenting a GLP set of products.
Nice.
Ours are more like taking something like a Reta, and we're not stealing Reta, but we're doing something very much like that. But instead of having to do once a week, twice a week, whatever, we're looking to make something that you do once a month, and it slow releases through the month. And that will be our
Incredible.
technology.
That's incredible.
Right. That will be our patent. And then said, it's like, great. You just get your one bottle, you do it on the first of every month, and you're good. It slow releases. Like you would get a drip, like instead of taking, let's say you need 2 milligrams a week, right? Or 9 milligrams a month, we'd give you one shot of 9 milligrams and it would just slow drip
That's incredible.
for 30 days.
People love that.
Yeah. So you'd always be balanced on there. Now that's what we're working on. Can we get it done? Can it work? Can we get it to work perfectly? Who
Well, if
knows?
anyone's going to do it, it's going to be your team.
Well, that's what we're working
Yeah,
on.
you know.
Yeah. And we've got similar products on the market that are already going. Clotho launched last week, so people are starting to get their orders out. I've been on it. It's great. And then we have recumbent Follistatin, which I'm a huge fan of.
Talk to me about that a little bit more, because I've been seeing it get posted a lot more. I see Brian talking about it. I want to just know a little bit more about it.
So Follistatin, there's a ton of them.
Mhm.
It started as ACE, and then there's Follistatin 315. Now we have Follistatin 344. But it's a protein. You inject it, and it's basically shuts off your myostatin receptor,
Right.
lowers cortisol, helps with insulin sensitivity, helps with hair growth, all this. But the big thing is that myostatin receptor. It allows the body to grow beyond its natural means.
Mhm.
So when you do all these things, you're literally processing like a superhuman what you put in the body. So you can grow faster, but it's not like a steroid where you're like forcing it through a hormone change,
Mhm.
essentially, right? Boosting your your testosterone to 3,000, and there's all these other things that go along with that are problems, and you're increasing protein synthesis, all that with those. Don't get me wrong, but then you stop, your body's like, what the hell is happening? Or even if you're on it, your body's fighting you
Right.
to pull the muscle tissue off, because like, you're not supposed to be this weak. You have a governor. You have, like, someone that's born 5 feet tall should not be 300 pounds of
Mhm.
muscle, no matter what. Like, that will kill you, right?
Right.
It's too much on your frame. So your body has like, stop. So these Follistatin products basically allow you to grow. No, they're not going to. You've seen like, the cow that grew to like 7 times the
bull.
size.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's real, if that's just a weird one-off, like Andre the Giant kind of thing.
Right.
But it allows you to grow beyond that. And where I've seen is like where I couldn't get past 205. I was 240 this morning. You were at the gym.
Yeah.
239.63% body fat. I've not gone over 3% body fat in years.
Mm-hmm.
I eat ice cream every day. I eat what I want. I do eat some healthy things, but I'm not a guy sitting there counting calories. I try. We know what I count? How many calories I need to eat? 8,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Which
But my
is nuts.
body just
Didn't eat
processes
enough
everything.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to eat every 2.5, 3 hours, but it's really incredible. I've been on it for, 3 years now. And
Oh, no kidding.
yeah, I mean, that's when
Okay.
I really turned from like, oh, I look good, to like, whoa.
Now we're getting the secrets.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't
I'm
know
sure I
this.
can boost it
Yeah.
and then try and grow past this. But at this point, I'm like, I feel like this is the max heaviness before I start to get uncomfortable.
Right.
And everything fits me right now. So I'm good. But the recumbent Follistatin, the problem with those products were they hurt like hell.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get used to them, but you got to inject a muscle. If you do inject to your fat because you want to do fat for some reason, or you do, there is a chance you can hurt your heart.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an opportunity versus a challenge, or, you could hurt yourself. This product is into the fat. There's still some pain, but it's more like a general soreness, not a, oh crap, I can't sit down on the toilet today because my leg hurts so bad.
Right.
And instead it releases over 2 weeks. So you can only do this thing once every 2 weeks.
Nice.
Instead of
I can't wait to try it.
Yeah. I remember at one point, I couldn't sit on a toilet. I could barely walk, and I couldn't hold my steering wheel with it. I'm like, I had one arm left.
Yeah.
No legs, one arm. And I'm like, I can't do this arm.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't even reach over to do it.
Yeah, to
It
do
hurt
it.
so bad. But if I did, I would be like immobile.
Yeah.
And I remember Dave's like, stop being a bitch. Just keep moving through it. So yeah, day 10, like it's like my body had gotten used to it. But
Wow.
you don't have to go through that weird process.
You know what's interesting, man, is that with some of the clinics, and I don't remember. Oh, I was talking to Tracy this morning about it. It's that so one of the clinics that I work with back in Vegas, I gave them the Glow protocol. And one of the things that the owner, she called me about, she's like, Paul, you know what? It just hurts so bad. And now the other interesting thing is all over social media. Tracy showed it to me today, and I go, well, that's ridiculous. And I actually gave her the proper response on it. But all over social media, they're going, oh, the copper's going to ruin the efficacy of the BPC and the TB500 because the Glow protocol is BPC, TB500, and GHKCU. And I literally was like, there's absolutely nothing that shows that copper peptide put together with BPC and TB500 is going to degenerate these other peptides in any way whatsoever. Now, you might get a little sore, to your point where you're talking about like, hey man, you'll get
Which
sore.
actually is
from
reduced
GHK.
when you combine them with those products.
Exactly.
I don't know anybody here, because most people just don't do it anymore. But if I
Yeah.
inject straight GHKCU,
Yep.
I generally have a very gnarly reaction.
Because it's a copper peptide. And that's what I tell people. I go, hey, when it looks like Windex or antifreeze, that's normal. That's what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the things that PIP, that post-injection pain sometimes can happen.
When BPC and TB helping with inflammation and recovery, it should help with that, right?
Exactly.
But I know you have more questions.
Yeah. So one of the things that I noticed in the car is
Yep.
that you're really good at simplifying the science of this
Oh, thank
to
you.
people. How do you do that? How do you go about like simplifying everything?
Simplifying the
Yeah,
science
can you
of
explain to
peptides.
us? Yeah, like how.
You know, that's interestingly enough, I was tasked with that earlier this year when I was speaking at a conference for doctors and clinicians to get their continuing education credits. And that's when I started to realize, I go, oh shit, they don't know what a peptide even is.
Like the average person just
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
just like the average.
Yeah, they were
person.
exactly. Even the doctors were like that.
Even
So
now, a lot
Yeah,
of them are.
yeah,
like a
yeah,
lot of the stuff that you guys are even talking about.
sure.
I I have a lot of questions.
I love
don't know
that.
half the time what you guys are
Keep them
talking
coming
about.
toward.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
trying to
the
educate
easiest way that
myself.
I explain peptides is I go, a peptide is an amino acid strung together in a specific sequence to elicit a specific response from the human body. The way that it's strung together in 2 to 50 chain bonds, right, is what makes it a peptide. Now you can change it up. You can do this, that. It can become BPC, tesamorelin, and please always, brother, correct me if I'm saying anything crazy over here. But the way that you string that sequence together is what makes a peptide. Now, what I also explain to people is I go, why do we always say peptides are all natural? Well, think about it like this. When you take the entire amino acid sequence, the 191 amino acid chain, that becomes human growth hormone, which you, me, Trevor, every human being on earth has within them. So all we've done is we've looked at the human growth hormone amino acid sequence that's within us, and we go, okay, this fragment, as we were talking earlier, is for strength, for weight loss, for whatever, for stress, anxiety, libido, energy. It's all, so we've just literally taken that out and we go, cool, we're going to take these fragments out. Then we're going to use these tiny little signaling molecules, put them back into you so that your body can do what it naturally wants to do, which is typically heal itself or do XYZ, whatever, drop weight, get stronger, this, that. That's all peptides are. I literally go, all natural amino acids, man. You're already producing them. Put them back in
I
you.
feel like people kind of automatically assume when you start talking about the fact that you have to inject them that they're steroids.
The funniest thing happened to me just the other day where one of the guys, and I couldn't believe it, a good friend of mine down in Florida, he's actually an all natural bodybuilder, and 35 guy looks great. And I know he's 100% natural because he would look super crazy if he wasn't. And he goes, hey man, I love the peptides. And he made a post about peptides. People started attacking him. Like, oh, you're not natty. You're not. And I was just like,
I think I saw this.
did you see? Yeah.
Like kind of looks like a Ken doll.
Yes.
I
My
know
buddy
exactly what
Mike.
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
My buddy Mike.
I didn't realize that was your buddy.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's on my feed. I must have accepted him because he knew you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Great dude,
I go
man.
back and follow people that
Yeah.
okay,
You're
this
like, this
person's
incredible
following
person.
Paul,
Yeah.
so I'll follow him because they're following me.
You got to see so one of the comments on there blew me away because to your point, Chelsea, one of the comments goes,
Well, what's not natural anymore then? Taking creatine? Not natural anymore?
and we actually talked about that too. But the way that one of the guys actually explained it, and I think he may have been a personal trainer, I'm not sure, but he goes, I actually explained peptides as mini steroids. And I just was like, you should stop explaining them that way.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I was like,
not
that's not what they are by any means.
Steroids are synthetic products that derive from nothing that are created to elicit a massive response. We use steroids in a lot of things. We use steroids in your knees so that you don't have to go on maybe for surgery.
Correct.
But they're bad. They literally break down those areas and make them worse.
Yep.
Steroids make you worse long term. They give you short term results. Now, minor amounts of steroids and used correctly and not overworked
There's
into
time
the body,
and a place. I agree.
you can get good results that are not damaging. And we can even go into the bodybuilding world.
Yep.
That's why, things like Anavar are known as Primobolan.
Anadrol was for someone that's anemic. There's a good purpose to it.
There's good products that are out there. Like everybody on earth, not this, don't listen to this, but if everyone was using Primo in small dose, like you can run it all year long.
Yeah.
And most people, their numbers would never look worse. They'd probably look better on a blood work.
And their immune system would be healthy too.
Your immune system, the only thing is like if you have low estrogen, does, dial down your estrogen too much. But, it's a great product. It puts on lean muscle tissue. It's great for anybody that may be dealing with, if you're going through cancer, where you're like, allows you to keep nitrogen in the tissue and keep muscle mass on even in a negative calorie diet. So these are things that are really beneficial and they don't really harm you long term, but you should take your blood report, do it. There are opportunities to use things.
Sure.
But the problem is the bodybuilder mentality of taking steroids is it's kind of like, the big pharma guys is start high, go higher.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're abusing it at that point.
Yeah, you're abusing.
Right? Yeah.
But
I get it.
but they're not. These are natural. It'd be like you saying you can't take vitamin C anymore.
Right.
And maybe that's a little extreme because you produce, like in your body, you can produce, there's 20 amino acids.
Yep.
There's 9 essentials and there's 11 that your body makes.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So it'd be like, you can't take even if you take the ones your body makes, then it's fake. Well, no.
Yeah.
The 9 that you need, you get through food.
Correct.
Or are you no longer natural because you ate food?
Yeah.
And applied those? Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's so ridiculous.
It's different.
Did that answer your question, Chelsea, as far as what peptides are? Did that kind of make sense for you, where they come from and how they work?
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like personally, like when I've tried to explain peptides to people, just that they're amino acid chains, a lot of
Yeah.
people that don't have a science background, yeah, they'd have no idea. And
Yeah.
then it's just like, oh, well, you're injecting that. That's a steroid. But yeah, it's like, no,
By the
that's
way, we
something
do
that your
make
body naturally
orals.
makes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make orals,
Yep.
make nasals,
We have
make
them. Yep.
strips. There are other formats. It's just like anything, directly into the bloodstream is always going to be the best. And they're just so fragile. We don't know how to make them all that way yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, there will be a time that all this stuff will be like taking your multivitamin.
Yep.
Hopefully.
There's definitely
I'm spending money on it. I'm spending money trying to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, in fact,
There's
it reminds me of
been,
something
so because I work with clinics a lot and I get to hear a lot of their patient experience, right? And what I hear more than anything is that there's this paradigm shift now where people that you wouldn't like, people the size of my mom, that's like, barely 5 feet tall, maybe 100 pounds, if that she has no problem now taking an injection. Right. So there's been this paradigm shift and it's just been really nice to see. It's not everyone, it's slow, but as it's been building, I'm just seeing the trend where people go, you know what? I do want that peptide. And it quite frankly started with GLP-1s.
Yeah.
Where I saw that the most.
They really don't hurt. There's some that do, but for the most
Sure.
part, if I give you an injection with a insulin needle, and I use the biggest one possible, 29,
Yep.
and I tell you to turn your head and I'll let you know when it's done.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you're done. And you're like, you didn't even know I did it.
Yeah. Totally.
Like, it's that thin. And then you can
100%.
go 30, you can go 31. I'm sure there's a 32, I think, out there. I mean, you're getting mosquito.
Thin. Yeah. Very thin.
You know what I mean? You just don't know. And if you do, you don't go, ow, the mosquito hit me. It's like, you feel like something's there.
Yep.
But so it's not pain.
For sure.
Right.
I agree.
When people are experiencing adverse reactions like to the Ozempic, what causes
Take
that?
less.
Take less. Okay.
I mean, okay,
Is it
so
impurities or like?
well, it
or
depends
just,
on
like,
what that
the
is.
amount?
So that's actually a good one because there's endotoxin, there's sterility, there's just overdosage, and there's allergy, and then lastly, there's just tolerance issues for everything, right? So there are people. Okay, let's look at something like this. If you have a nut allergy, right, then you can't eat nuts.
Mhm.
There is a chance that some of these peptides are allergic. By the way, there's things like maple syrups disease that you can't absorb or take in branched chain amino acids. So very rare disease.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah. So we actually manufacture the medication used in our facility in Atlanta, Georgia.
Really?
And it's a total, like, it'll save your life or you die. Like, these people do not have, like, literally die right away because they cannot eat proteins.
Oh, wow.
Think about
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's, like, literally things that there is a chance that some of these your body just doesn't like. Right.
Mhm.
So there's that.
Sure.
Now, allergic reaction to, like, death, I don't think I've ever seen it. I'm
No.
sure there's someone that will have that case,
Mhm.
but there really isn't. Right. Then you have just tolerance.
Mhm.
There are ones that, I can inject Follistatin and I'm tolerant of it.
Mhm.
There's other people that'll do it. The pain is so bad that they can't do it. Doesn't matter what dose.
Mhm.
All the way down to just a fraction, it just creates too much of a pain or reaction that they don't like.
Right.
So don't do it, right? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Then you get into the real problems. Okay, overdosing. Hey,
Yeah.
you start off, you're at 0.5 milligram of semaglutide. That's where you start. Oh, I'm throwing up like crazy. Oh, well, that's the starting dose. Cut it in half.
Oh, yeah, you can take that down.
You can take less.
Yeah.
You don't need to be puking.
And
But, like,
also
it says that's the starting dose.
Yeah.
Take half, right? So then there's just being smart about what you're taking down. Then you get into the actual problems, endotoxins. So endotoxins, when you inject, you start feeling like you have a fever, sweating, nausea. And you see a lot of endotoxin issues when you start getting into IVing peptides. So when you in fat, even into muscle, there's a time of how long it takes to actually get into the bloodstream fully.
Mhm.
And you can have higher and higher endotoxin levels without creating that problem based on where you do it. So when you IV something, if the endotoxins are too high, that's why a lot of these people that do NAD they're puking, they're feverish.
Why would somebody IV instead of just injecting it?
There's controversial data and theories on why one's better than the other. So like Dr. Seed's method is you inject or you take in as much NAD as possible to show the body what it can take. And then you can do less after that, but your body will absorb it all.
Right.
And then you got other people who's like, well, I don't really want to go through that process. I'd rather just give it a little bit
At a time.
3, 4, 5 days a week and get a
Mhm.
nice result from it. I don't need to go superhero, Superman level
Right.
on it.
I like to keep it at like 200 milligrams a week.
See, I do like 75 milligrams a day,
Yeah.
and I just skip days here and there. I
Mhm.
travel, so whatever.
So basically the same.
Like I said, everybody's
Yeah.
so people will go in and IV 1,000 milligrams
Right.
of NAD. I'm like, Jesus, that's 3 weeks worth for me.
Yeah.
You're doing it in one session.
Literally.
Yeah, there's problems with that. Now, it's probably going to make you sick, nauseous, all this problem already. But if you actually start like the fever, sweats, all that, there could be endotoxin issue. It might still be in range of normal
Mhm.
or acceptable. But if it's at the high side of that and you're IVing, you're going to feel it. Whereas if
Right.
that higher level inside the range, you were doing it into your fat, you wouldn't feel anything,
Yep.
right? Because it's going to take 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even a little longer, depending on the thickness of
Yeah, it won't hit you as quick.
it. Yeah, it takes time to get in. So that endotoxin never hits the system that hard.
Mhm.
That's one. And then the one that you don't want to run into is sterility issues. It's
Ah.
not sterile. So now
Okay.
you actually are injecting a problem like a bacteria, viral, and that's just bad, processing.
Mhm.
It's either not checking the product when it arrives to make sure that it arrived sterile, because there's times you get something and it cooked whatever and there's some kind of sterility issue.
Right.
We see it. Or you go to process it and it wasn't processed correctly, and then but when you get it afterwards, you check it and go, oh, the sterility's off. Okay,
Mhm.
someone sneezed on. I don't know.
Could be
Like,
anything. Yeah.
that's why you have SOPs and why sterile injectables and owning facilities that laboratories. Airflow
Yeah.
is important. Like, you do smoke tests. Like, come down and talk to my partner Boris about smoke tests. 3 weeks with the FDA watching smoke tests for our 503B.
Yeah.
3 weeks on watching airflow. That's it. Because he has a very unique, like most are top down and he has horizontal. So they were like really looking at all this. So that means like if you have top down flow, which I do in all my other facilities, which is
Mhm.
different, but more common, what it means is if you're going to make something, you can never have anything pass over the top, because it means the airflow is going to blow that down into the bottle.
Oh wow.
Do you think that having a US based manufacturing helps with?
Well, it means because I manufacture here, I can control the people, the SOPs, I can see it. Whereas when you go elsewhere, like let's say I had a facility in China. I hope everything's going well. They're telling
Sure.
me everything goes well, but there's not someone there that I can really
Check it out,
monitor
yeah.
with. Not to mention, we just have higher standards in a lot
Mhm.
of things. I know they may say they have higher standards, but we do get, we had a no knock FDA at the facility in
Oh, that
Irvine
we were just at?
that we were just at
Wow.
maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, something like that.
Okay.
Showed up unannounced. Yep, we're here to do an inspection, and we passed with flying colors.
Yeah, of course.
So
That place looked
but
amazing.
those
Yeah.
things happen here. I don't know if that's happening in China.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I hear of facilities, and there's other people that have thrown the FDA under the bus about this stuff. But there's people that you look up and you're like, their facility's never been checked for 4.5 years.
That's a bit weird.
But I mean, they can still be doing everything
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
This is
no.
the thing.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
could
you could
be.
walk in and they
Yeah.
pass with flying colors. I'm not saying anything's going wrong.
Sure.
But then you look at, people that are hardworking, like our friends at Waste to Wells. I love
Right.
the guys over there. And he gets checked like 4 times a year,
That's nuts.
So you look at it and go,
Yeah,
What the
like
hell?
that's
So-
interesting. One thing that I did want to mention though that you touched on just a second ago about the GLP-1s and why people can also get sick off it. One of the easiest things, and I love Trevor's answer where he goes, "How about you lower the dose?" Like that's
Yeah.
great because you should start there. The other thing that I always suggest, which I know Trevor does too, and it's actually in some products already, but B12. B12 is one of the things that you can take that'll mitigate a lot of those nasty side effects like the nausea, the puking, stuff like that. 1,000 micromilligrams a day will until those nasty side effects subside is typically something that you can do in addition to bringing down.
yeah, there's always obviously ways.
Yeah.
But I was from purely a scientific standpoint of
Yeah,
why did these things happen. Those are the 5.
and I love that because
you
I
think
don't
the
even go
clinics-
into endotoxins and all that. So
that's all I care
love
about.
that, dude. That's amazing.
It's like the clinics that people are getting these from. Do you think they have the knowledge to explain that to the
No.
patients.
No, and that's something
Some
that
do.
I talk to them
I feel
about
like that's
all the
part of the
time.
problem.
Yeah, that's definitely something I talk to them about all the time, because just like how I mentioned earlier in our conversation, where that clinic owner, she was like, "Oh my gosh, the GHK, did this to me," and I go, "Hey, it's totally normal."
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "It's totally normal. Nothing." I go, "You're not going to hurt yourself. It doesn't ruin the efficacy of the peptide. Like, you're totally fine. It's just an annoyance, but it does go away over time." There's other suggestions that this is part of like the training that I actually do with the clinics, is I go, there's a few other things that you can do. I'll give you an example. One of the things that you mentioned where you could be allergic to some peptides and not others. No matter how much or how little of MOTS-C I take, I just break out in hives, and it's there for a while, man. And it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Trust me. Like the same thing with like the flushness of CJC, or I have my attorney and one of my best friends that actually works for me. They can't take testosterone.
Interesting.
It gives them a like
Does
that.
it lock them up?
No, it makes their feel like their throat swelling, tongues getting bigger.
Got it.
Like
And
they're actually allergic to it. No, they're not dying. They're not going to the
For
hospital.
sure.
But that feeling exists when they take anybody's.
yeah, it freaks them out.
Yeah,
I
like
got
they
you.
can inject, 10 micrograms,
Yep.
and I'll inject 10 milligrams,
And
and
no
they'll get
problem.
the same. They'll get that effect, and I don't get anything,
Wow.
right? So it's not a product issue because
Yep.
we don't.
No, for sure.
Just like like I inject, like when I inject like testosterone, those kinds of things.
Mhm.
I can inject 3 cc's of oil in my leg, no bruising, no problems whatsoever.
Wow.
And my friend Ryan, 0.2 milliliters, and he is crying like a baby.
He's-
"Oh, I got a nut."
That's too funny.
We're all different.
Yeah, 100%.
We're all different people. Otherwise, we'd all look the same. Like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Matrix or
And
something. I don't
that's
know.
what makes everything
Yeah.
interesting. But one of the things that I'll always mention to people that are allergic to stuff is I go, "Hey man, if you still want to take this, how about you have an oral antihistamine beforehand, or even a topical antihistamine? And then if that doesn't work, then it's just really not for you."
There's so many products now, though.
Yeah.
Come on, let's be honest. Like 11 years ago, we were dealing with like 10, 11, 12.
Right.
So if you lost one, you're like, oh crap, well, I can't use anything. Like human growth hormone was the first growth hormone stimulating one, right? And then we got some more, and CJC, and then
Mhm.
CJC with DAC, and then testosterone now. And trust me, we're gonna have more.
For
Right?
sure.
And then you also have like, okay, now you have all the GHRPs. So now you have GHRP2, GHRP6, ipamorelin, hexamorelin, right?
Yeah.
You got all these other ones that are
Yeah.
on there that'll help you. MK677.
Yep.
There's products that work for this. If one isn't working, move.
Do another one.
Try a different one.
Exactly.
10 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years, 4 years ago, even on some of these, you didn't have that option.
Right.
Now, don't look at that like fondly. And like there's 200,000 peptides in the body. We're going to find a lot that do the same thing. And we're getting 2, 4, 10 a month now.
Mhm.
We weren't getting 2 a year in the beginning.
Trevor, how excited are you about nanotechnology with peptides?
I mean, it's so nanonizing peptides, if we can really do it correctly, is pretty darn cool, because then that's another way you can just stop injecting.
Right.
I mean, it'd be cool if you can just kind of.
So a mutual friend of ours, right, that you do business with,
Mhm.
he sent me a picture of his wrist. Did he send this to you with the patch of BPC?
Oh yeah.
So that impressed the hell out of me. And that got me super excited, because I go, how'd that work for you? And he goes, "Oh man, it was great." He goes, "I did something to my wrist. I just put this on there, and 2 days later I was moving again, no problem." And I was like, I was telling Chelsea, I go, "I'm dying to ask Trevor what he thinks and how he feels
Yeah.
about nanotechnology and what that's like."
Can you explain to people that might not know what that means? What
I'm going to give it
what
to the
that
big boss
is?
right here. And go,
Basically, is nanotechnologies. We're taking something that would be, so there's a Dalton scale, and it's how big a molecule is. So, and forgive me, I'm not going to know this down to the wire, but something like CJC or something might be like 1392, whereas BPC is 796, and the smaller you get, the smaller the molecule is, right? And then something like a Follistatin is 4670, right? And what that is how big is that molecule and how big is the orifice it can get through?
Mhm.
So your skin can fit like less than an 800 with a transdermal patch, which means that we're creating micro needles to open the pores up so that it can fit through. Or
Mhm.
you use like lubrication techniques. So things like psychodextrin and liposomal technology, and your mouth can go bigger. Now you can go from 800 to 1400. Right. And then if you use a liposomal technique, which is like adding grease to it, essentially, maybe you can get to an 1800 on the size. Well, when you get into nanotechnology, what it is like they're actually spraying the layers of the the peptide over each other
Okay.
to where they slip through the skin and connect as they're going through. So you're, instead of BPC, the chain being, 800,
Right.
the chain is 80 plus 70 plus 78 plus 86 plus whatever to complete that chain, and it slips through together. Like,
Oh, thank you for explaining.
well, and
that.
then but there's other versions of it. So
Yeah.
Hakeem, who works in here, his entire degree was in nanotechnology for treating lung cancer.
Wow.
So you want to hear about nanotechnology? That was a very basic explanation of it.
Oh, that was
Talk to
fantastic.
Hakeem,
Yeah.
and he'll tell you all about how he's did his.
Do you think that that's the way of the future?
Well, I mean, not everything needs that,
Mhm.
but yeah, you can take things that, like I said, at some point, you might be able to just take a patch, throw it on your arm with all your peptides on it,
Yeah.
and walk out the door,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it just slow
Easy.
releases into your body all day long.
Yeah.
Like I said, same thing. We're working on technologies for, slipping through, like another version of it. We're looking at ways to make it slip through the intestine so it doesn't get destroyed. So it gets through stomach acid and then slips through the intestine and bypasses first pass of the
In a
liver.
liposomal.
Oh no, we use this is a whole different technology that we're working
Mm.
on right now. The results, which I have them, came back really cool. Where we went from like a 2, like a bioavailability of a 2 to an 11.
Wow.
So now a 2 of 0 is still 0,
Right.
11, right? But if we had like an 18%,
Mhm.
like 18 bioavailability, and we increase it by 5.5, we're at almost 100% bioavailability,
Wow.
right? So that's what we're looking at, the
Amazing.
bioavailability climb. And first did it with, I think it was NAD, CJC, PT141, and 5-amino-1, and like they all jumped up. So what it means is that we're getting closer to creating every peptide in the
You're on
world.
the right track. That's amazing.
Mm.
So we'll start human trials next year.
Oh, incredible.
So,
What other molecules are on the horizon that clinics should prepare for?
well, I mean, the big ones that we've spoken about briefly, Clotho is like longevity for the future, just is everything in the body for anti-aging, kidney function, brain function. It could be the keys to stopping Alzheimer's from forming. That's a big one. Follistatin for muscle development and, keeping people in shape and keeping the fat off the body. Like, we don't all necessarily need to be on a GLP-1,
Yeah.
right? The rest of our lives. I don't take them.
Right.
Like, that's not saying that I wouldn't be better off with them, but I like eating and I don't think I really need them. I don't need to lose any weight.
Sure.
Right. But there's, I don't want to get too much into the craziness of it, but a lot of hair stuff we're working on. A lot of hair stuff. Men love having hair and women love long hair, right? And so anything we can help with your hair growing, reverse gray back to normal naturally, we're working on that. We're working on a lot of stuff for animals. Yeah, so I have some horse studies going right now up in Washington, which is really fun. We're trying to solve racehorse ulcers.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff with that, with cats, dogs, the whole deal.
That's a profitable market right there.
It probably will be. The problem is that even though, like, it's like, oh, you love your
pets.
cat, but you still, in my opinion, I can't be like, yeah, we're going to charge you $300 a month and put your cat on a GLP, right? It's just
That's well.
the vets will, but we're working on
Exactly.
we're working on some stuff right there. But that's really big right there. We're working on a lot of longevity, trying to figure out how to regrow like organs, like when your organs start to fail and bring them back.
How to regenerate them.
Yeah, a lot of stuff for the brain, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia. They're working on a lot of those. So like all these things are coming. Anything that you can think of that is a need, like we might have the cure for Hashimoto's coming.
Do you think peptides will become the standard of care?
God, I hope so. It depends
Yeah.
on if they get, like, there's so much pushback and it's because they work. If they didn't work, no one would care.
Well, Big Pharma would lose out on
Then that's what it
money.
is, right? So if they didn't work, no one would be talking about this. This would not be the industry that it is, because they sure as heck aren't hurting anybody, right? It'd be one thing. So let's look at a product that is hurting people that's out there that's not even being stopped. Something like Kratom.
Yeah.
Highly addictive. If used correctly, it can help with things. I mean, nicotine for the last, 100 years, not necessarily saying just nicotine, but cigarettes. These are things that literally give us no real benefit. Nicotine does have a benefit, but like cigarette smoke, all that, totally legal, kills people day in and day out.
All day.
Yet peptides, I mean, go ahead and see. I mean, I'm sure there's a death somewhere, but no deaths. Only people going, holy crap, this is amazing. Millions and millions and millions of people just all day long saying, this is the greatest thing ever. Yet we're getting how much pushback?
Yeah, too much. Too much.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It should be great. This is working. Government should be helping us develop more and more, because then we can subsidize our broken insurance system, help people out, and save people money and cure things and not create more problems, more side effects down the road from getting on too many pills.
Actually heal people the right way. Yeah.
So we should be getting a ton of support. Instead, we're getting a ton of fucking pushback.
My real opinion about all of this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to start going into some of the stuff for children these days.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah, I mean, I think we all saw what happened with COVID and taking the vaccines, and what vaccines are doing, and it's everybody's in full denial. Oh, vaccines! Oh no, these are good. There's no problems here. It's like undeniable at this point.
I actually have the peer-reviewed medical studies that I've shown to everyone on VIP, LL37, thymosin alpha 1. I'm like, here's peer-reviewed medical studies. Here's VIP literally killing COVID. I go, it's in front of you. Now we're all going to get canceled. But literally
curing it with no side effects.
Yeah.
But instead, let's just pump people full of vaccines that are shutting people down,
and messing with their mRNA, all kinds of stuff,
creating heart failure.
Yep.
God knows what it's doing to your next of kin.
Exactly.
By the way, you put that in your body. You just genetically added it to it. Your kids get whatever's in there.
Correct.
In some way or shape or form. And you can go ahead and check this. I don't have any vaccines. My parents had to fight for me to get into school when I was a kid.
You grew up in California.
And I grew up in California.
Yeah.
And it was basically put in front of the school board that my parents would go ahead and get me vaccinated. There's far less. There's like 9, 10, 12, whatever back then. Would get me vaccinated, but they had a full liability form saying if anything happens due to the vaccines, the school board, the LA County School Board, would be held responsible.
Wow.
For any interactions.
Good for your parents.
And they finally said, oh, fuck it. We're going to let the kid in. Yeah. He's not going to spread polio.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's not going to get hepatitis.
Right.
Right. But you look at this and you're like, why is a newborn getting hep?
Dude. Yeah, I wondered that because they didn't have anywhere else to go with it.
What?
So they're like, let's give it to the little babies.
Trying to make money.
By the way,
literally.
Hey, I actually did this as funny
the
because
day that they're born, within 24 hours, they come in and they're like,
this kid's having unadulterated sex unprotected right now.
Well, how's that make sense?
Shooting up with 30
They just didn't know what to do with it. So they're like, let's just give it to the kids.
I don't know what the hell, but it gets worse than that.
How many babies are born?
Have you looked up polio? So we all get polio shots. Look up when the last confirmed case of polio was in the United States. Just the last one.
Is it?
It's like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
One case.
Yeah.
There was one case. Like in California, it goes back over 100 years.
I was just about to say.
Why are we vaccinating for that anymore? I don't see an issue with kind of phasing that one out.
100%.
And you know what? If we come back and go, kind of making some, okay, maybe we're wrong, but at some point we all know the food pyramid was wrong.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Let's retract and hey, saturated fats, they're horrible for you for 50 years.
Yeah.
Actually, saturated fats are good for you.
So you're telling me I shouldn't be eating Fruit Loops every day?
Just kidding. Yeah, all those dyes. Guess what? Just eat them with no color.
A problem.
I was like, I shouldn't eat those.
Back on topic. I can go on about food problems.
Okay. Want to talk about what macro trends will reshape the industry in the next 5 years?
You know that one really well as far as what macro on a bigger scale, what's going to change, because you just came back from Maha, so I'm sure you got plenty to talk about on that one.
I mean, the big changes are going to be is like, okay, outside of peptides is going to be seed oils, getting seed oils out of the day-to-day, getting those back to good fats. So think beef tallow, think avocado, think macadamia, all those kinds
of good saturated
good
fats.
Saturated. Yep. Getting rid of dyes, all those petroleum-based dyes that are closing loopholes on integrating drugs or like parts of drugs, and like you can't do a shiny happy show on a commercial of like how this thing and then it kills people. Kind of thing. Like you got to be very hey, this is what this does if you're going to advertise.
So they want to regulate that more?
Well, it's a loophole that they're closing.
I
They're
see.
closing the loophole of being able to slip into your food unidentified products. So we say, and we'll just name sucralose, which is still allowed. But let's say, hey, you're not allowed to use sucralose anymore.
Okay.
Or you're not allowed to use corn syrup, right? And then Coca-Cola goes, oh, shit, that's going to cost us like $6 billion a year.
Right.
Reverting back to cane sugar. Let's create sucralose. And they just put that in there. They took sucralose and bonded
something
molecule
else.
on it. Oh, it's doing it. No, you can't do that anymore. They're closing that loophole. Those are all big ones that
That's
in a
great.
macro environment,
Yeah.
they're going to be really good for us. As far as the peptide world, the big thing I think is going to be next year. I think Reta goes finally live.
Mhm.
That's going to change a lot of people's lives. It really is a much better product.
And what do you mean when you say it goes live?
Eli Lilly, I think finally is going to get through trial.
Okay.
That'll be big. I think a giant one is we for sure are going to have a lot more oral options
Mhm.
in the next 12 months. So for all the people that are just scared to death of the injection thing, we're going to be able to turn that around. And I think in a macro environment is we're also going to be able to, through our pharmacies, we're going to be able to, for human use, a lot more peptides. They're gonna
Right.
come off of those,
I'm
get
very excited
reclassified
about that. Yep.
for human use and allowed.
Mhm.
So I think things like BPC, AOD, and CJC, ipamorelin, and epithalon, all these great products, TA1,
Mhm.
all these great products that work and don't have any
Right.
really isn't any side effect. They're getting reclassified where you can get these.
Thank goodness, man.
approved.
Aside from like GLP, obviously, what peptide do you think like the demand is growing the fastest right now?
Well, BPC is the biggest.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you look actually at like a product mix of most companies, you add the GLPs, they are by far the
Okay.
biggest. But BPC Wolverine, that Wolverine stack is
Okay, I was gonna say,
actually the
what does
number
that
one
do?
selling product we
Yeah.
sell. The single SKU
Okay.
item that we sell, that's number one.
Okay.
So that is their NAD is probably number two
Okay.
to the GLPs.
Mhm.
And then from there, it really is like the copper products.
Yeah. Because the skin
clothes,
health.
glows,
Skin health.
like it's skin health.
Yeah.
And I tell you right now, when the hair
Everyone
stuff
loves
comes
that.
out and we actually have studies and trials going through showing growth of hair,
Mhm.
the way it's supposed to work, and hope, fingers crossed, it looks like we're getting a lot of good data. Those are going to shoot to the moon.
Yeah.
as well.
That's the
for
first,
sure.
exactly to echo what you're saying right there. And I think you guys both heard me say it in the car. When it's a new clinic that's just starting and they're like, hey, Paul, like, what should I bring in? What should I do? I go, well, first of all, we need to take a look and see what your clientele wants. First of all, let's start there. But then when they go, well, this is going to be brand new. I've just been asked for BPC, little things like that. I always go, okay, well, we want to start with GLP-1s, BPC, NAD. Exactly what Trevor was just saying. And the reason why is because those are going to be the main things that we know. Obviously, you can feel it pretty quickly. They always are going to work. And it's what the demand is out there for too. But then at the same time, it's going to impact that clinic positively on their bottom line very quickly. Because the quickest things that I've seen, I was actually working with a clinic in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills. And I watched them go from ordering 2,000 a month to 40,000 and
Oh, wow.
then go up to six figures. That 2 to 40 jump was after 9 weeks of me like really hands-on working my 12 weeks with them. And I just watch it go up. And actually their number one seller was ozone. That's what was driving their
Ozone?
ozone.
I
Yeah.
believe it. I mean, like I said, there's niches for everything.
And peptides took over right after that. Yeah. And it's just been interesting to see that growth happen, because the second that peptides come in, you'll start to see that it almost hockey sticks with the way that things go for them with the financials. Yep. What do you got for us?
And that's a wrap.
That's
I'm
it, huh?
trying to go back to the
Oh.
clinical questions because there was a lot of stuff. You guys went on a little tangent earlier.
Oh, that's what we do best. How much time we got?
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ooh, pecan
What do you
candy.
think the clinics are doing wrong when they try to introduce peptides on their own?
Oh, when they try to introduce peptides on their own, number one, it's lack of education.
Yeah,
Number one.
patients are not educated.
The patients aren't educated. Typically, the clinicians aren't educated because they just don't know where to start. They don't even know how to dose it, frequency, timing, a lot of that.
The Peptide University.
Yeah.
Read.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Because there is some really great sources like Trevor just mentioned that will help them, but then they go, oh, I'm too busy. Oh, I'm this, that. So then that's where I'll come in and go, okay, this is how I do things for you hands-on, and train, educate, and then supply you. That's what we're doing.
Pick 5 products, learn them.
Yeah.
learn them really well.
And those 5 will be the best ones to start with.
Just do them
Yeah.
correctly. And then from there, when people go, oh, can you get this? I'm sure I can.
Absolutely.
And educate yourself. I think what it is it's like an overwhelming thing.
Yeah.
If I said, I want you to tell me about these 80 peptides, you're going to sit there and go, I don't even know if I want to get into this, but tell me about 1 to 2 peptides a week. You got to get to 80 by the end of the year.
Sure.
Doable.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you could be like, okay, cool. I'm going to introduce 4 to 6, maybe 7 peptides a month.
Sure.
And that's really easy to learn.
Yep.
Especially doctors have put their brains through studying.
Yeah.
They work better than most.
Mm-hmm.
Most people do not have the attention span to sit down and study and learn
Right.
what a doctor has to go through. They are better than that. But you know what they're not good at always? They have that side of the brain. They don't have the business side.
Exactly.
They're 2 different sides. Trust me, very few people are good at everything.
Right.
You know? And people that are really good at business may suck in like relationships.
For sure.
Like no one's perfect.
Yep.
And that's okay. And that's where asking for help and relying on people like you.
That's where we come in.
Yeah. I won't even take credit for it. I just love the freaking industry, and I just want to help people. And I'm hoping that we can cure hundreds of diseases. My goal is 100 before I die.
I have to say something on
Hundreds
that,
of
Trevor.
diseases
Right
before.
there. I'm so glad you said that. The reason why when I met Trevor and we started to speak business, the biggest thing for me was that I thought I had very big, like, aspirational goals of like, I want to help people and I want to. So my whole thing is that I had to sit down because someone asked me, they go, Paul, what's your life goal? And I was like, oh shit, man, let me think about that. I'll get back to you in a couple of days. Let me really stew on that. And I know how passionate I am about peptides and the way that it's changed my life being in the medical field. And I came back to him and I go, you know what, man, I want to help 100 million people globally with peptides is my goal within 20 years of my life. So when I'm 64, I want to look back with Trevor and go, hey man, thank you for helping me get to my goal. The reason why I'm bringing this up because of what he just said about what he wants to cure disease wise is because when I met him, I go, shit, man, your goals are so big that I love it so much that my goals can fit inside of your goals and we can run this thing together and go crazy. And that's what mattered to me because I go, if I can understand his vision and he can see my vision and we can just really keep working our day-to-day purpose in life and go, hey man, I'm living my purpose every day. I'm doing it one day, every step of the way we're getting closer. And that vision keeps coming together. I was like, I'm in the right place. That's real alignment, man. So I appreciate you. That's why I was like, I'm so glad you said that because I really wanted to touch on that.
And earlier you were talking about the physicians and clinics that weren't quite ready to introduce peptides. What would you tell a clinic owner who says we're not ready?
I would say, good, stay away. No, I'm just kidding.
You're about to get left in the dust.
I'd say, do you have your plan for retirement ready?
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's people that are not ready and they're not going to be ready.
Right.
Like, I hate to say it, they're so far along. You know, if you've been practicing medicine for 40 years, you're sitting there going, oh, you've probably also seen a lot of gimmicks
Right.
through the years. And you're sitting there going, is this going to be...
They can't tell the difference anymore.
Yeah, is this going to be the fat zapping thing from like the 90s or whatever, right? They're sitting there going, sure. I think there's a number of that, and it is what it is, and they'll ride into the sunset. And then I think the people that are just hesitant right now, I think just do research and talk to hopefully you talk to people in your industry, get into a doctor network group and talk to them so you can understand what others are doing that's working.
Yeah.
And you'll see that you can do it the right way. Buy from US manufacturers, pay attention to your patients, conduct real, like if people are coming to you because they don't want to go online and buy some random site and, stick themselves.
Probably shouldn't be doing anyways.
I mean, trust me, direct to consumer is big. I mean, and there's nothing wrong. There's so many good direct to consumer sites. I'm not saying that at all, but fuck, it's scary to just like, hey, I don't like needles. Now I'm going to order something from a random person online. I'm going to hopefully get the fill right. I mean, these people are fucking shaky.
Yeah.
Like when they're not even sticking themselves yet. They're trying to stick the needle in the thing.
Yeah. Mix it, how to dose it,
my
nothing.
mom bent like 30 needles.
Oh my God.
Trying to just put them in.
God bless her.
Yeah. You know how hard it is to do that?
Yeah.
They come to the doctor to like get some assurances.
Right.
If you can help them, you are winning, right? Even if you help one person a week, a month, whatever, you're going to help somebody tremendously with using a peptide product. So anyway, that's about it. All right. Well, I think we're at our limit.
Yeah.
Today.
That was great. Good
Yeah.
job, Chelsea.
Well
Love
done.
it.
I'm proud
I
of
did
you.
my best.
Yeah, well done.
Well
Good.
done.
Great job to you guys.